Andy, can we start by just looking back at last Saturday's match? What are your thoughts?
Um, well, obviously, we were really, really pleased with our first half performance. Old Albanians came down here with a sort of a reputation for being one of the top sides in the division. Um, I think they probably thought they could just come here and score at will. And of course, we're not about that, although the score lines have been quite heavy against us. At no stage have we just rolled over and let sides run tries in. And so um, we made life awkward for them. We were going forwards. We tried a new midfield partnership with Ian Herriott and Martin Freeman, and that seemed to go well for us. And it was, good that Ian was able to snap up some loose ball and Freeze runs in for a try. So going in at half time, 7-3, you're starting to think, well, if that's how they're going to play and give us a sniff, we just might pull off a surprise here. Clearly, you know that they're going to come back. They're not playing well. We've maybe frustrated them. We've played reasonably well, and you know they're just going to come back and which is exactly what they did. And then we started to fall off a few tackles and then picked up a couple of injuries. And Paul Archer had a very good debut in the first half, and then he's started to pull up with hamstring problems in the second half. And rather than have them tear completely and then not have him for a month or so, I felt it was important that we took him off, and we just lost a little bit of shape there. So, and then we just started to sort of go back to some of the other old habits and let them run through and score tries. So disappointed in the second half, and the boys themselves were disappointed. I think they felt that a shock was on the cards as well.
Okay, so could you do a brief injury roundup for us, long term and anything that happened on Saturday?
Well, I suppose going from the front back, and that's where our main concern was, because we've gone from last week we had 3 front row replacements. We're only obliged to have 2 at any time, but we had 3, and we actually needed all 3 because Tom Sanders took quite a big blow to the head, so he's doubtful for this weekend. Nathan Thomas is still struggling with his neck stroke arm. He was okay for the game, but then really only came on for 15-20 minutes maximum, and then it reoccurred, and so we're waiting to get some update on him. Tom sort of gets on and struggles on with his neck issues, so there's 2 or 3 of them that have got neck problems, which you'd like to give time off, to be fair. Tom Bax should be okay. He's coming down from Cardiff. And then Robbie Arthur, unfortunately, is unavailable. So we're really sort of tight in the front row this week. And I've sort of registered somebody today who's been coming to training and then played against us for Oxford Brooks the other week, who's an out-and-out hooker. He's 20 years old, so he's fits into the age range just about right. But he's a hooker who can prop. So we're a bit saved by that. We're still looking for one of those others to come to the rescue and be available for this weekend. Second row are fine. Back row is fine. Claude had a bit of a groin problem, but hopefully he'll be here tonight. Jack Sawbridge was ill last week, so hopefully he'll be here tonight. Greg Price, who didn't play last week, is available, so back row okay. Half backs are fine. Will Clark picked up a bit of a shoulder, but he seems to bounce back from that. Again, ideally, we probably need to be able to give him a week free. Steve Datchler is fit again and trained on Tuesday, so he'll come into the equation. But Martin and Ian Herriott went very well in the midfield, and maybe that was one of the reasons we played so well in the first half. And it'd be a shame to break that up if we had to. A lad called Johan Knapp, who's been training with us for most of the season, but is just coming back from a pelvic injury, has now been cleared, and so he would come into the squad perhaps. And then Dave Ferguson, who wasn't around. So we've got well in excess of the 20 we need. It's just the key position of front row where we're struggling a little bit. Oscar Matthews, who didn't play last week because of sore ribs, has now been diagnosed as having a cracked rib, so he's clearly going to be out for a little while longer, which is a shame because we're looking to play Oscar at full-back, which is his preferred position, and we're not going to be able to do that for another week or so now. But other than that, we'll be fine.
Okay, so we were at Hinckley on Saturday, another team who are having a difficult season. And you've mentioned that each player has got personal objectives. Do you think that's the key to getting a win?
I think so. That's where you've got to start. You bring 15, 20 people together to create a team, but ultimately they all have to perform individually, and if they can play better than their opposite number, then generally speaking, the team will perform. And then obviously it's a question of them performing as units, the front row, the back row, etc. Um, but yeah, we've got to go up to Hinckley. They haven't won a game, neither have we. They haven't been losing by as many, although they had a heavy defeat against Ealing last week, I think. Um, but they do have 3 losing bonus points, so clearly they've got close enough to opposition to give them a scare. But we've got to go up there confident that we can come away with a positive result, because we need to do this week, and then we've got Shelford at home next week, and we've got to look at that as a potential win as well, because we're going to get out of this, which it's by no means done and dusted. But if we are going to get out of it, it's got to start with probably 2 wins these next 2 weekends.
Okay, best of luck.